The people of Thailand took to the streets of Bangkok and provinces all over the country on foot and in cars throughout August, demanding mRNA vaccines and the resignation of Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha. That's simply because they see nothing but the government's failure of handling both health and economic crisis. Let's take a look at what's happening in Thailand in this What to Know with Joe Chalowit, the August edition. August 20th this year marks another milestone during pandemic that we never thought would happen in Thailand. The COVID-19 cases in the country eventually surpassed 1 million cases, 1,009,710 COVID cases to be exact, with at least 8,826 deaths on the record. Looking back at 2020, Thailand reported daily new cases with only 1 or 2 digits between May to early December and without fatality for many months. However, the 7-day average of new cases on August 20th this year was recorded at 20,932 cases. 243 people died on that day alone. 312 deaths on August 18 was the highest. You may wonder, what the heck happened? Well, it's because of vaccine shortage, apparently. Almost 6 months after the vaccination in Thailand began, only 6.2 million people living in Thailand were fully vaccinated on August 23rd. The process of the vaccine rollout was quite slow and very much confusing. Some Thais who had pre-registered for vaccination on countless online applications and websites had constantly been told that their appointments were postponed without notification because of the lack of vaccination. And somehow, without explanation, thousands of young employees were able to get vaccinated before the high-risk groups, the elderly aged over 60 and patients with 7 underlying diseases, for example. I was one of them and literally had no idea why. Confusion over mass vaccination plan doesn't stop there. I mean, it got even worse. For example, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha told the people of Thailand on April 23rd of this year that the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine produced locally in Thailand by Siam Bioscience would have been able to supply Thailand 61 million doses by the end of this year. 6 million doses in June, 10 million doses each month from July to November, and 5 million doses in December. The government was widely criticized when Thais didn't see the expected number by the end of June. We wonder, will we ever meet the 61 million goal by the end of this year? To clear things up, Deputy Health Minister Sathit Pitutesha said on July 15 that the 61 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccines could potentially be delivered by May of 2022. Yes, May 2022, only 5 additional months to go. Then the whole country was again in shock when we learned such vital information in a letter sent to the Health Minister Anutin Chanvirakul, written on June 25th of this year by Stuart Haben, the Vice President of Global Government Affairs and Policy at AstraZeneca, saying that they hoped, quote, "You will be pleased that this is nearly twice the volume we discussed on 7 September 2020, when your team, the Thai government, estimated that Thailand's healthcare system required approximately 3 million doses per month." Wow, just wow. So basically, we ordered only 3 million doses per month, but the company was generous enough to give us 5 to 6 million doses. Where did the Prime Minister receive such information from? Was he daydreaming or just came up with such calculation or what? However, the Thai Health Minister did send a letter back to Haben on June 30th of this year, confirming that Thailand needed at least 10 million doses per month, as situation in Thailand was getting worse. Fortunately, there's some good news. General Prayut revealed after having joined an online meeting with Pascal Soriot, CEO of AstraZeneca on August 23rd, the European drug maker promised to supply Thailand with 61 million doses of the vaccine by the end of this year. The Prime Minister also increased the expected number of all vaccines procurement for Thais from 100 million to 120 million doses to cover 50 million people, which includes vaccines from AstraZeneca, Sinovac, Pfizer, Sinopharm, and Moderna. But did you know, Thailand is one of less than 10 countries in the whole world that allows private sectors and its people to find their way to secure and pay for alternative vaccination. If you do prefer mRNA vaccines like Moderna, which is not provided by the Thai government, or if you don't want to wait for Pfizer vaccines, which is expected to arrive in the fourth quarter of this year, or if you don't want to be cross-vaccinated by Sinovac and AstraZeneca, which we are the only country who does that, apparently, go ahead and pay $50 per dose for Moderna. Or you can even pay $24 per dose for Sinopharm. Only if you are lucky enough though to fight with other millions of people who want to pay and also be on the same list. Only money won't get you there. Your fast Wi-Fi and your luck. We hope you succeed. What a life. Among this mess, Thai government tirelessly keeps going with the plan to order 12 million more doses of Sinovac vaccines on August 17, explaining that cross-vaccination with Sinovac and AstraZeneca can boost the immune system 4 times more than those who only get 2 doses of Sinovac. But the point is, Thai people have been strongly demanding mRNA vaccines, not Sinovac, not that unnecessary cocktail vaccine. But it seems like the government has been trying so hard to do whatever it takes to stick with Sinovac, as if it was chosen to be the main vaccine for Thailand in the first place. The people of Thailand want the mRNA vaccine like Pfizer and Moderna so bad because we know that it is our only way out of this health and economic crisis. We don't want to see more than 20,000 new cases per day or more than 300 deaths in one day, no more. That is why thousands of people took it to the streets all over the country to protest against the Thai military-backed government for several days in August, not only to demand for mRNA vaccines, but also for the Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha to resign immediately, as he and his government completely failed to handle the crisis. Instead of giving the people of Thailand, the taxpayers, what they asked for, the government of Thailand chose violence to deal with the protesters. Rubber bullets, tear gas, and high-pressure water cannon were the main solution by the Thai government. A number of people got injured, some severely. A 15-year-old was shot in the back of the head, not knowing who the shooter was. And a former pro-coup activist who became a prominent pro-democracy protester lost his right eye. Despite the violent measures from the authority, Thai police and the government insisted that they have done nothing against the international human rights law and standards of controlling and dispersing the protesters. On top of that, the chaos over 1.5 million doses of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID vaccines donated by the US government was a major embarrassing issue in Thailand. We received the vaccine for free. The US government stated clearly that medical workers and the high-risk groups should be vaccinated with the donated Pfizer vaccines first. It turned out that some of the VVIPs and elites in Thailand had been trying their best to get hold of the vaccines, despite the fact that many of them had publicly defended the use of Sinovac vaccines in the country, and also encouraging that the cross-vaccination of Sinovac and AstraZeneca works really well. This is What to Know by Voice. I am Joe Cholowit. Thank you so much for watching, and please do share this video. I'll see you next time.